In the remote stretches of the Amazon rainforest, where ancient trees towered and shadows danced with the fading light, James embarked on a daring expedition. The forest was dense, and the air was crisp, filled with the earthy scent of pine needles and damp soil. James felt exhilarated by the challenge and the solitude of the journey. His father, an experienced outdoorsman, had warned him about the dangers of venturing too far off the beaten path. He had always emphasized the importance of safety and caution, stressing that many paths could lead to unexpected perils. But James, being young and confident, often brushed off these warnings as overly cautious. As James pushed deeper into the wilderness, the trees grew thicker and the path less defined. Suddenly, a distant voice echoed through the forest, cutting through the tranquility. It was his father's voice, though he couldn't see him. "James, stop! Turn back!" Fred's voice boomed, filled with urgency. James halted in his tracks, a mixture of surprise and irritation washing over him. "I know this isn't the right path," he called back, though the voice was more a shout into the void than a conversation. "I just want to risk it and see where it leads. Besides, there's pleasure in this adventure. Life itself is a risk. Who knows what tomorrow holds?" His father's voice remained insistent. "James, it doesn't work that way. Come back to me. Let me show you the way to eternal enjoyment that lasts forever. The pleasures you're chasing now are fleeting." The pleasure James spoke of was real. He marveled at the beauty of hidden waterfalls, the thrill of climbing challenging rock faces, and the serenity of untouched landscapes. But with each step, the path grew increasingly treacherous. The forest seemed to close in around him, and the once clear trail became a labyrinth of shadow and uncertainty. As dusk approached, a low growl echoed through the trees. James's senses were suddenly on high alert. The forest that had once seemed enchanting now felt ominous. His eyes scanned the darkness, trying to identify the source of the sound. Then, out of the shadows, a lion emerged, its eyes gleaming with predatory intent. Panic surged through James as he stumbled backward. He had heard stories of wild animals in the wilderness, but he had never imagined encountering one himself. The lion advanced with a menacing grace, its growl growing louder. James's thoughts raced, and he found himself wishing he had heeded his father's warnings. He regretted not turning back when he had the chance. In his desperation, he tried to climb a tree, but the lion was too swift. With a final, terrifying roar, the lion pounced. The lion devoured him, and James's last moments were filled with terror and regret. The pleasure he had sought in the wilderness was overshadowed by the stark reality of his situation. As darkness enveloped him, he found himself confronting the ultimate consequence of his choices. James's story became a cautionary tale, a reminder that sometimes the greatest risks are those we take in defiance of wisdom and guidance.